the telegram. Larry's life changed after meeting the March family. He spent lessons time with his tutor and more time with his new friends. They had great times together. They played in the snow, went ice skating, and played games. The March sisters visited the Lawrence house very often. Joe liked reading in the big library, and Amy liked looking at the beautiful paintings and statues. Meg liked beautiful, expensive things, so she loved the Lawrence house. Only Beth was afraid to go there. She wanted to play the grand piano, but she was afraid of old Mr. Lawrence. One day, Mr. Lawrence visited Mrs. March. He started talking about music and musicians. Beth listened carefully. "I have a grand piano that no one plays," said Mr. Lawrence. "Do your daughters play the piano, Mrs. March?" "Only Beth plays the piano," answered Mrs. March, "and she plays it well." He looked at Beth and smiled. "Do you really play the piano?" "Yes, I do, sir," said Beth quietly. "Well, please come and play the piano in my house." "Oh, thank you, Mr. Lawrence," said Beth happily. From that day, Beth went to play the piano in the Lawrence house every morning. She was very happy. She made Mr. Lawrence a pair of worn slippers to thank him. 2 days later, Beth received a letter and a present from Mr. Lawrence. She was amazed when she saw a small piano in the living room with a letter on it. "Is this for me?" she asked in a quiet voice. "Yes, it's for you," said Joe. "Now read the letter." Beth read the letter. "Dear Mrs. March, I am very pleased with my new slippers. They are warm and comfortable. I hope you will enjoy this small piano. It once belonged to my granddaughter. Yours, James Lawrence." "What a generous gentleman," said Joe. "Beth has a new friend," said Amy. "Is this a dream?" asked Meg, and the 4 sisters laughed. Beth sat down and played the new piano. "This piano is perfect," she said happily. Summer was a wonderful season for Larry and the March sisters. They spent a lot of time together outside. They had picnics in the green hills near their town. They talked about their dreams. Larry told them about his love for music. His dream was to live in Germany and become a famous musician, but his grandfather wanted him to study at college and then work in a family business. Meg's dream was to have a lovely house, pretty clothes, a husband, and children. Beth's dream was to stay at home with her mother and father. She wanted to look after the family. Amy's dream was to go to Rome and paint beautiful pictures. She wanted to become a great artist. Joe's dream was to have a house full of books. She wanted to become a famous writer. The summer passed, and soon it was October. The days were cold, and Joe sat in the attic and wrote stories. One day, she took 2 stories to the newspaper office. 2 weeks later, the newspaper published her stories. She brought the newspaper home and read the stories to her sisters. She was excited, and everyone was pleased with her. Oh, my Joe! Cried Beth. No, you're a writer. November is a terrible month, said Meg. It was a cold day. She looked outside the window at the grey sky and the grey garden. Our lives are always the same. We work, and we don't have very much fun. Beth looked outside the window and smiled. I see Martha and Laurie. They're both coming here. Martha and Laurie entering the house and went to the living room. A few minutes later, Hannah came in with a telegram. She gave it to Mrs. March. After reading it, her face turned white, and she sat in her chair. Larry bought her some water. Joe read the telegram to everyone. Mrs. March, your husband is very ill. Come immediately. S. Hill, Black Hospital, Washington. At first, there was a terrible silence in the room. Then the girl started crying. Mrs. March read the telegram again. Your poor father, she said. I must go at once. Hannah went to prepare Mrs. March's things for the trip.